I wanted to talk about how to look at things from outside of a rate and how to, educate your potential customer or even current customers on how to continue to drive out costs or increase profitability, have sustainability, which leads to scalability, right? Because again, I think it's fair to say that everybody, it's always rates. Well, at the end of the day, that's all. You can't control that, right? I've said it plenty of times. You can't control what the market's going to do. You got to take into your own hands what you can control, right? That's with anything, but more or less, let's just say at some point they're going to be at the bottom of the barrel, right? Meaning like they're going to have X company is going to have great rates. What do you do then, right? You can't continue to just keep rate shopping or jumping around from this carrier to this carrier. It's just not sustainable. It just isn't. So you got to look at things from a different standpoint and really dive in and at some point there's going to be there's going to be change that needs to happen or processes that need to be put in place in order to achieve, cost reduction or, better service, whatever it may be. We'll talk about pricing for this though. So this company was very close. The guy that I was working with, it was their director of purchasing. He's like a mentor to me. I've done business with him multiple times. And it was 4 branches. It was there were a division of a $1 billion company, right? So the current state was, as you can see, all over the map. There was no processes. They were using Oracle for like a TMS or their ERP system, but there wasn't but nothing was integrated, right? They didn't have a TMS. Kicker, they were paying a company it was basically a technology company, logistics technology company that was essentially just, again, consolidating invoices and sending them over, which I was able to, my guy sent me over, a year of, the data that they collected, and it was just all over the map. You couldn't there was so much there was no allocating for them. Everything was manual. They said they were auditing invoices for them, and again, taking a percentage of that. But there was nothing put in place, no processes, nothing this company was doing besides, auditing, catching some fees, which weren't that many to begin with. So I went in and I wanted to show this, right? So if I couldn't say their rates were not good at all, right? I mean, again, they were using 10, 15 plus different LTL carriers. They had 3PLs all over it was just all over the map, right? Mixture of everything. But let's put aside their rates were not good. Say their rates were good, right? I broke this out for them. This is just one. They had 4 branches, right? So again, they did about $4 million in LTL. This branch was relatively one of their bigger ones, $175,000 a month in LTL, just out of this Illinois branch, right? So what I was able to uncover, I broke out some data. I took a month of their data and looked at, okay, they're shipping a lot of regional moves, right? But they're over 43%, which totaled out of that $175,000 a month, $100,000 of that was because they were using national carriers for regional moves. Just by educating them and uploading, if they had a TMS, uploading some business rules, routing guides specifically for their locations, those regional locations, so that when they booked a shipment for X state, knowing it was region, I would already be updated. I would be able to save them $35,000 a month, which $420,000 a year, which if I didn't even, that's not saving them $1 on their rates, right? Just simply by switching a few processes, putting a process in place, putting updated routing guides, and making sure that, again, eliminating or mitigating any of that manual risk of, hey, we're just going to book this. We're going to book this. No, we're going to have specific carriers for each lane or each region so that, again, we don't fall into this this category of we're spending over $35,000 a month extra because we're utilizing national carriers for regional moves, right? So I see that a ton, believe it or not. But on top of that, it's just icing on the cake because they didn't have good rates. I was able to, again, I was able to save them what? It was around 45 grand. So an extra 10 grand as a well, I was what, running like 28, it was crazy, 28% margin on my end, right? And again, like I said, as I'm very close with the purchasing guy, I let them, I mean, we text all the time. We're like tight. So I was just very open with them. So it just goes to show you, looking at things from a rate side, putting rates aside. Granted, yes, I could save them money on their rates because again, they were all over the map. They were diluting their buying power. They really had no idea specifically what they were doing. That's great. But if you're in today's world, right? Especially larger shippers of this 4 million, decent sized shipper, probably going to have decent rates. You have to think higher level. You have to think bigger picture. You have to really understand how to break down what they're doing, what their current state is, what their process is like, and how to drive out cost even more when you can't save them money on rates, or when you're very, the margins lean, right? They want to use a 3PL. They can benefit from you. They love the technology I have. They love the dedicated, the dedicated customer service. You just got to, price does matter at some degree. Well, you're going to lose that account if you can't, if you're just simply looking at it at a rate, because again, they got great rates. You can't, you're not going to make any money. They're not going to go with you, because if you were to save them what they wanted to be saved simply off a rate, you'd be on, it wouldn't be sustainable for you. So something as simple as digging a little deeper, why you need data, why you need to look at things from a different standpoint of just rates. Forget the market. Like, you can only tell someone so much. Hey, the market is up, the market is down, the market is up, the market is down. There's no meat on that bone. We get it. I've said it a million times. Like, at the end of the day, it's like telling me gas prices are skyrocket. No shit. How can we fix that? If you can fix it, right? It's like, we got educate. So again, if you have any questions on this, let me know. It was just a simple had their data, ran it, pulled a pivot table, was able to, again, break it out in, regional moves right here. And yeah, it was pretty, this is pretty simple. Again, if you got data and you want to, and you're a freight broker or work for a 3PL and have questions on, how you can pull, or how you can, build this out, it's simple. Ping me. If you are a company that is looking to have someone take a look at your stuff, see what we can do for you, reach out to me. Other than that, be a resource, not an order taker, for my logistics sales reps. And for the shippers out there, your supply chain is not an auction.